Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. Welcome to another video for League of Legends. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Neeko, who is the second most recently released champion as I record this. Silas is the most recently recorded champion. He just came out a couple days before I record this. And I would like to use this video to give you some Silas footage, but even though I played a bunch of games on the, even though I played a bunch of games this day, and Silas was in pretty much all of my games, because he's so new, the people who are playing Silas don't really have a good feel for him yet, and I couldn't get any great Silas footage. So I've been wanting to do a Neeko video for a while, and this was a game where I Neeko ended up doing quite well, so I have some good Neeko footage to use, and this will be a great chance to go through and look at some of Neeko's abilities. In this particular game, this is from a normal draft pick mode game. I am on the red team, so I'm going to be playing Leona in this game, but you guys have seen me play Leona before. I've recorded, I think, a couple different videos of me playing, at least one video of me playing as Leona, so we're going to be focusing on the Neeko player in this game, MLG Bunny Hops. Great name. And you might be saying, well, wait a minute, I don't see that name in the game right now. Well, that's because Neeko has used her passive to change into another version of Jhin right here. So this is the Neeko player. And there you go. Now you see Neeko shifts into the Lux player on this team. So before we run through Neeko's abilities, let me go ahead and give you the matchups for this game. We're going to have Camille on blue side against Sion for red side up in the top lane. We're going to have Kayn jungling for the blue team, and we're going to have Silas, the new champion, jungling for the red team. I'll try to give you some Silas footage in this game, but this wasn't a great Silas game because, as I said, everybody's still trying to learn him. Neeko's here in mid, up against Karma, and then the bot lane is going to be a Jhin Lux lane for the other team and a Kate Leona lane for my team. So you can see right now, still shows Lux as being on the minimap, but then finally Neeko has to use an ability, and you see Lux pop up. So normally I would highlight the passive. Here it is. Wow, even though there's no icon here in replay mode, you can see the passive. So this is kind of Neeko's special gimmick that she can use. And it is pretty creative what she can do. Neeko can disguise herself as an allied champion. Direct damage from an enemy champion or casting a damaging spell will break the disguise. And you can see it does go on a cooldown when you use it. It's on a 25-second cooldown. I believe the cooldown goes down as she gets more points in the skill. That is Neeko's kind of special thing, though. She is a chameleon. She can turn into other members of the team, and while she does that, she gets the name of whatever champion Neeko turns into. Her portrait on the minimap will change into that champion, and even though it might be obvious sometimes who it is, like it was pretty obvious that Neeko was mid because there was also a Lux player down in bottom lane. If Neeko disappears into the fog, like runs off into the jungle, and then pops back into lane as a different champion, it can be genuinely difficult to tell who is who, and that really can throw you off if you don't know who Neeko is, or who is, who's like the real jungle Kayn and who is the Neeko. Even if it just throws you off for like a split second in a fight, that can be the difference in terms of winning the fight versus losing out on the fight. Alright, I'm going to back up here for a second because we have a key play early on. So let's see. Here comes the jungle Silas, and we're going to look to go in. I am going to flash onto the Jhin. Silas is going to use his X skill. Kate hits a long-range Peacemaker. And are we going to be able to finish this off on one hit? So Silas is going to get that kill for first blood. Then I am going to root the Lux player. And so we score 2 kills in bot lane, and we're off to a great start down here in bot. So I wanted to show that Silas doing work down here together with, I'd like to say, some nice Leona play, flashing for the stun, hitting the Zenith Blade for the root on Lux, and puts us up to a great start down in bottom lane. Alright, back to Neeko though. So I mentioned her passive, now let's take a chance to walk through her skills. Neeko is a champion who is going to be doing magic damage. When they did the champion spotlight for Neeko, the idea was that she'd be a jungler, but she hasn't really been played as a jungler. She has mostly been played as a mid laner, just kind of a standard mage, dealing magic damage, focusing on spells, doing kind of a standard rune path and build path for mages. So we'll start with her skills. The skill that she uses the most often is her Q, Blooming Burst. Neeko throws a seed, it blooms to deal magic damage. If it kills a unit or hits a champion or large monster, it blooms again, maximum of 2 extra blooms. So this is the ability that you see Neeko using a lot in lane. There's a chase down up here, but Jungle Kayn was invading on blue side, but it looks like he got out with no further trouble. It's her best farming tool. It is on a short cooldown, only 6.5 seconds. I think it's 7 seconds with some cooldown reduction. Deals good damage, especially if you can get the bloom more than once. So you can toss it over minions. It is a skill shot, but it's a really easy to use one. Just deals damage in an area. Let's see, I suspect Neeko's going to use it. Here, there it is. So it killed an enemy, so it blooms a second time. If it hits a champion, it will also bloom a second time. If it hits a champion on the second bloom, or if it kills a unit on the second bloom, it will pop up a third time. So you can get up to 3 hits with it if it's hitting an enemy champion. And if you get all 3 hits, you can imagine, let's see, that's like 170 damage, and then another 170. So yeah, there it blooms a second time, does not bloom the third time because it did not hit the Karma player. This synergizes really well with Neeko's other skill you'll see her using the most, Tangle Barbs. This is her E, on a longer cooldown, kind of a medium length cooldown. Looks like it's 12-second cooldown to start. Neeko slings a tangle, that's a great sentence, slings a tangle that deals magic damage and roots for a half a second. Last champion is rooted for 7/10 of a second instead, so it can root more than one person. Tangle becomes empowered after hitting 2 enemies, growing larger, moving faster, rooting the last champion to hit for 1.8 seconds. So again, if you're hitting multiple people, the root is longer and the area of effect is larger. So ideally you can hit multiple people with this, but obviously it combos quite well with their Blooming Burst. If you root someone with the Tangle Barbs, you toss the Blooming Burst on their head, they can't move out of the way, and they'll get hit at least twice, maybe the full 3 times. And it deals pretty good damage. It's quite nice because so right there you see the root, and then you get the Q, and it blooms. I couldn't catch if that was twice or 3 times, but the basic EQ combo lands there, and it deals quite a bit of damage. It's especially nice because of the way that it will go through minions. Meanwhile, down here, we're looking to catch, already have caught the Jhin. Now we're going to look to catch that Lux. We are not going to kill her, but she's forced to flash away. So we're having a lot of success down there. Somewhat surprisingly, though, Jhin is still out farming Kate, even though Jin's died twice. That was a sign that Kate was just missing a lot of farm, like kind of unnecessarily missing farm down there. And as a support, I was a little bit frustrated about that because we really should have had a bigger lead than we did, considering we already had 3 kills down in the bottom lane. Alright, so let's finish covering the rest of Neeko's skills. Her W is Shapeshifter. This one doesn't cost mana at all, but it's on a long cooldown. It's on like a 20-second cooldown. I think she just has 5% cooldown reduction. Let's see, yeah, 5%. So it's a 20-second cooldown. Passive, every third attack deals bonus magic damage and increases Neeko's movement speed by 20% for 1 second. So there's a passive function, but you're not going to get too much benefit out of this because Neeko generally is going to max this last. There's really no need to put more than 1 point in this skill. So not too much. Every third attack deals a little bit of bonus magic damage, and you get a small movement speed burst. Then the active function is quite interesting. Neeko becomes invisible for a half second, projects a clone that lasts for 3 seconds. Neeko and the clone gain 20% movement speed for 3 seconds. Up there's the root, there is the Q on top of it. Looks like the Q actually kind of missed Karma, didn't really do that much damage. So you go invisible when you pop this, and it's very brief. It's kind of like the Vayne stealth when she uses her tumble. So you don't get, well, with her ult running, obviously. So you don't get a lot of stealth. You just get like that brief half second of stealth, but then your clone will run off in a different direction. So it's quite possible to fake people out while using this. Over here, you're going to see Silas get caught. He got caught up in a tangle with Kayn and just died, unfortunately. So not great for Silas. He got that initial kill for us, and right there you're going to see the full triple bloom there on Neeko's Q. So hit on the root with Tangle Barbs, and then landed the triple Q with the Blooming Burst, and did quite a bit of damage. Yeah, 205 plus 205 plus 205. Oh, I guess the secondary blooms don't do as much. 95 plus 5. So second and third blooms only deal like half damage. Yeah, instead of 200 damage, they deal like 100 damage. But still, that's 400 damage from a basic ability. There is the W, you see, running towards Karma. So Karma's going to back off, and that's going to allow Neeko a chance to look to go back and buy and look to cash in the money she saved up so far. Or at least it looked like that was going to be the case. Instead, Neeko's going to stick around just a little bit longer, maybe was waiting for a particular item, and in fact there's going to be a clash over this Scuttle Crab right here, but as it turns out, Karma is way too low. She can't really do anything here, so this is pretty much a 2v1 between Kayn and between Karma, and they're going to continue fighting, but oh, I actually missed it. Let me go back and watch that. I was too busy watching the junglers. Missed the Neeko play. Alright, so Neeko trying to help out here. Karma tries to come over, but Neeko sees it, gonna flash, and then there's the EQ, and gonna finish that one off. So MLG Bunny Hops claims that one. And now chasing after Silas, he's gonna flash the wall, but Kayn, of course, will come with him with the ult running. And it looks like Kayn's gonna have no trouble finishing this one off. So that's a double kill. And the game's basically even back up again. My team, the red team, was slightly ahead early on, but we've kind of lost a lot of that advantage because the mid lane is going against us right now, especially with Neeko picking up that kill. And now the Neeko player doing exactly what she should do, looking to shove this lane before going back, going to force the minions into the tower. Karma, who just died and is back reviving, will miss these and will get further behind. So it's about a 20 minion kill lead in mid and a kill in mid. 2,500 gold to 3,200. That's a big lead for this early in the game. Let's see what Neeko's going to buy here. Again, standard AP Mage build order, picking up Lost Chapter en route to the Luden's Echo, picked up Boots. Interesting, has the Biscuits running, so apparently is running, what is it, Inspiration for the secondary tree. I'm a little surprised to see that. Well, I guess Inspiration's not that unusual, but going Biscuits for a solo mid laner is kind of a little unusual. Usually it's just the supports that go for the Biscuits, so you don't see that as often. Unfortunately, right there, Jhin is going to get picked off in bot, and I was really frustrated. Kate just kind of got caught for no real reason there and gets killed, and there was nothing I can do, so now their team's going to continue farming. Alright, we haven't had a chance to cover the ultimate on Neeko, so let's just hover this before Neeko has a chance to use it. Pop Blossom. After 1.25 seconds, Neeko leaps into the air. She gains a shield that absorbs damage for each nearby enemy champion. When she lands, she deals a lot of magic damage, 350 right now, and stuns nearby enemies for 1.25 seconds. The ability can be prepared in secret if Neeko is disguised. So if she is disguised as another champion, you do not see her winding up for this. It is a slow effect. It's kind of telegraphed when she's doing it, but if she's disguised as a different champion, you don't get the warning that that Pop Blossom is about to go off. This is a really, really good ability. It's a lot like, probably the closest ability is the Amumu ultimate. However, Neeko is a much stronger champion in the current makeup of League of Legends than Amumu. She doesn't have the same kind of tankiness, but if she can get in the middle of the enemy team, her ult is going to deal a lot more damage than Amumu's ult because she'll be stacking ability power, and it's going to be an AoE stun for 1.25 seconds. You need to try to kill Neeko before she can get this ability off, if at all possible. Right now, Neeko's disguised as Jhin, and you're going to see another EQ combo there. Doesn't really do that much to Sion because Sion's pretty tanky. For whatever reason, Sylas is having to cover top lane. I don't really know why Sion's down here. So we've got kind of a clash going on over here on the river. Both teams want the Scuttle Crab control, and it looks like they're going to get this over here. Yeah, Kane's trying to run away. And we'll see if he can make it out of here. Sion's going to flash for it. And right there is the Pop Blossom. It's just barely going to catch Karma, and that's going to be another kill picked up by MLG Bunny Hops. So a nice use of the ultimate right there. And then Camille gets a solo kill up on top. So we are now trying to come into this fight, but we don't have numbers, and it's a nice root that's going to hit onto Kate. She's going to flash the wall, so now we need to worry about the Jhin ult. I am going to try to block this, and fortunately, it looks like Jhin canceled his ult. I'm not sure why. So Kate's going to be able to escape, but again, we're forced off the tower. We're forced to back here. Sion is still down here, so Sylas is still having to cover top. I really don't know why Sion was down here for so long. I guess we were in trouble. The net effect of all this, though, is their team gets further ahead off of this sequence of plays, and our team continues to, has kind of given away a little bit of an early game lead, with Neeko now 2-0 on the game, and in very good shape against our Karma player, has started to snowball pretty far ahead. Neeko already has 112 AP. I guess Karma has just as much AP, but Karma is a level behind and is like 1,000 gold behind, and that's not good this early in the game. When one side has 3,000 gold and the other side has 4,000 gold, you're pretty far behind. In fact, Neeko has quite a bit of gold, could potentially look to go back and spend that, but hasn't done so yet. I'll mention again the skilling order for Neeko in terms of her skills. The Q max first, it deals the most damage, putting more points in the skill. I don't know if this lowers the cooldown. I think Neeko's just getting cooldown reduction. Yeah, so more points in the skill does not lower the cooldown. Neeko's just stacking more cooldown reduction thus far. But Q first, and then your E second, W is your 1-point skill. Here, our Sylas jungler is going to make a nice play. Sylas is going to catch the enemy team's Kane jungler at the Krugs and is going to pick up a kill there, including getting a shutdown in the process. So that's quite nice, the 550 gold. That is going to help us. Now we're only 1,000 gold behind in this game. And Karma is actually going to get a decent shove here, and it's going to get a plate on the tower when the Neeko player went back to buy. Here's another use of the clone running in. Note that Karma uses her skills on the clone because she doesn't realize that that's the clone. Meanwhile, we've got a fight going on down here in bot. We're going to look to try to get some of these kills. I am going to look to try to use my stun onto the Jhin player, and it's going to be enough for our Sylas player to grab that kill. And now we're trying to get the kill on Lux. There is the Lux ult stolen, and oh, not quite, but Sylas going to flash for it and picks it up. Double kill there. And we've almost closed this game back up to being even again as a result of that sequence. And where did Neeko... Oh, Neeko, she went top. I was like, where did Neeko go and all that? Alright, so Neeko roaming top. I was thrown off because Neeko shifted into Kayn. So the Sion player probably thinks it's a jungle Kayn, but nope, it is not. There is the Pop Blossom coming out. Ignite used, and one final Q will be enough to pull that one off. So yeah, sneaky Neeko right there, using the ability to shift into Kayn. And our Sion player probably thought that he was dealing with Kayn, but nope, it was Neeko. And comes out of the shapeshifted form, uses the Pop Blossom, gets the stun, and then follows it up. Actually, no, I think she got a root first with her E, with the Tangle Barbs, then tossed a Q, and then ulted on top of it. So I think that is how it went down. But regardless, Effective picks up another kill, 3-0-0 on the game, has the most minion kills in this game, and is now getting some push on the tower. Meanwhile, down here, we're going to take this tower. So the game is very even right now, 23-23. And it's going to be up to who can kind of snowball this game better. Whether we can snowball the bottom lane, or if Neeko can try to snowball the mid lane here. And the blue team's also getting a shove up here in top lane. So there is a dragon up right now. There's been a dragon up for a while because no one's taken the dragon yet. And my team was looking to try to take this Cloud Drake, but Neeko is on the way over. And we're not in a great shape here. And yeah, my team's going to have to look to back off. Now, Karma lurking in the brush, but looks like their team knows that Karma is there. Going to get in some nice poke onto Lux, and Lux is going to have to retreat back. Meanwhile, I'm just clearing wards here. Try to keep the focus on Neeko to see if Neeko's able to catch anyone. So, I see that Neeko is kind of alone here with a low Lux, and I'm going to look to go in and initiate right there. Didn't realize that Jhin was also here, so while I'm looking to chase away, Karma is going to finish off the kill on Lux, and now we've got the fight continuing. I'm going to look to go back in and look to tie up Neeko. Neeko's going to ult once again and get the tie up on Karma, but now Sylas is here, and Sylas is going to look to try and finish that off, and it is in fact going to be enough with Kate coming in. So that fight kind of sucked everybody in. Overall, it was a 3-for-2 in favor of red team's side, in my team's side. And considering that we got the shutdown on Neeko, I think that we came out pretty clearly ahead in that fight. We got one additional kill, we got the shutdown on Neeko, and we also get the shove on the mid lane tower on kind of the back end side of this. Also, yeah, and Sylas now also coming over to look to do the Cloud Drake, which he probably should have gone sooner. And Sion, honestly, I do not know why I was running to top. Sion should have stuck down here, I think, and helped Sylas do this Cloud Drake. Could have done it much faster and much safer. But regardless, we are getting this continued shove on mid. Caitlyn is pushing the tower. We are looking to get this right. Yeah, see, if Sion had stayed down here, we would have already gotten the Cloud Drake, but instead, now Camille's going to teleport down. And yeah, now the Cloud Drake can't really go for this. Sylas does have Smite, but Camille is going to look to jump onto him, and now everybody's getting sucked into this fight once again. And Sylas is just not in great shape because he was still low from the last fight. Didn't go back to heal. Jin's going to look to open up with his ultimate, and Lux is going to ult. Let's see. Oh, can Sylas get out of this one? Yeah, just barely, but now we're in no position to fight. Camille is going to use her ult. That's going to claim the kill on Kate. I am down here. I'm trying to get the lockup on Neeko, but it's not going to be enough. I am going to get finished off by that Ignite. Neeko getting more roots, and that fight went really badly for us. The enemy team goes 4-for-1 in that fight, and honestly, the whole thing was set up by the fact that we didn't take the Cloud Drake on the tail end of that fight. We had our team, again, this is a solo queue game, but our team did three things. Kate shoved mid, Sion ran top for no real reason, he didn't need to go up there, and the Sylas player tried to do Cloud Drake. So three different things going on at once. We get none of the three objectives, we do not get Cloud Drake, we do not get mid tower, and Sion, I mean, I guess he got a little bit of farm, so congrats, but now he's dying to Kayn, so not so good. And Sion dies top. So, a situation that looked pretty good for our team, all of a sudden kind of falling apart there, and their team has now gotten back into a much more comfortable position again. And now right here, you're going to see a root onto our Sylas jungler, and that's not good. Alright, I'm going to actually slow this game down right now. So we're going to look to make a play, because we know that they're low, we know that Jin's in bot lane, so we're going to look to go in here. I'm going to look to use my Zenith Blade, but what's her name? The Neeko player is actually going to flash over my Zenith Blade stun, and then we're going to get blown up. Neeko is super duper low, but she's going to use her clone. I'm going to get fooled by the clone, and we actually get aced by that. Let me go back and show that again, because this is a pretty important sequence in the game. Alright, so you see right here, we're going to have our Silas jungler get blown up, but their team is low. There's 3 members of this team, they are low, and because Jin was not there, we were thinking, hey, we can do this, we can win a fight against them, but just the flash over the Zenith Blade stun into the Pop Blossom, into the Lux Laser, just kills everybody, and then I cannot get the kill onto Neeko at the tail end of that. So super duper duper sad there. Really, really slick play from MLG Bunny Hops to flash over the Zenith Blade stun. If we kill Neeko at the start of that fight, by just getting the Zenith Blade stun off on her, I really think we clean up the rest of that fight and probably take Rift Herald. But nope, she flashes over the Zenith Blade stun, and we all get stunned by the Pop Blossom. And then they follow up with a really nice Lux Laser, and we all just get popped, and that's that. Thought it was a good fight to go for because Jin was not there. Jin was in the bot lane, but ultimately it was a 4-on-3 in their favor. They did have 4 to our 3, so perhaps not the greatest fight, but too little, too late. A nice play by Neeko, and now Neeko is really in the driver's seat. 7-1-5 on the game, 700 gold killing bounty. Has finished the Ludens, has Sork Shoes. Looks like is going for a Lichbane, I believe. I'm not sure that's the best item choice on Neeko, but that's what this player is going for. Top tower goes down as Camille claims it. Their team also has the Cloud Drake, so they've got the bonus movement speed. And let's see how much AP. I guess still not that much AP on Neeko yet, only 184. But we'll have a lot more as Neeko continues to finish more items. How much gold is she sitting on? Not much, just went back to buy. But in terms of the total gold for the game, 7,000, 7,000, 7,000, 7,000. Pretty evenly distributed on their team. And no one on my team has 7,000 yet. Silas has the most, and Silas has died 5 times. So, not the greatest. We're also getting out-farmed in almost every lane right now. So, an uphill battle to be sure from this position. Neeko really did make the play of the game thus far, so we're going to keep an eye on Neeko. Our Silas jungler does get a kill there onto Kayn, so that's nice. That's to get that pick. We'd love to see if we can do something with this particular pick, but there's not really any objective up. I guess what this can do for us, though, is it can give us time for Sion to go and grab that top turret, because they won't really be able to send somebody up the top with their team having a champion, with them having their jungler down. There is a dragon that's... Oh, jeez. I hit tab to try to bring up when the next dragon would spawn, and for whatever reason in replay mode, when you hit tab, it closes the scoreboard, and I have no idea why it does that. And then you have to manually reselect it again. So overall, their team is about 4,000 gold ahead. They are certainly leading the game right now, and we will need to get more picks if we're going to look to try and pull this one back into our favor. We're going to hopefully get the mid tower here, though, so that's a plus. So we're going to claim that in exchange for the Camille player taking the bottom lane tower. So we trade towers, one on either side of the map. And we know that Baron is going to be the next really big objective. And there is an Infernal Dragon also spawning. So because our team is behind, we're going to need to try to catch someone out, pick someone, get them in a good fight. And oh, it would have been nice to get that Scuttle Crab, but going to be taken by the blue team. So they're going to get that one. We have most of our champs up around top. We are going to get that top tower, so that's a nice pickup. Now we're about 4,000 gold behind instead of 5,000. I didn't really like our position here. I didn't like the idea of fighting in this particular part of the jungle this far out away from the safety of our own towers because they knew that we were behind. But our team kind of wanted to go in there, and in fact, Camille and Jin are going to look to go in and engage. We are kind of behind the play, and it looks like our Silas is going to get blown up. Oh, a really nice use of the Lux Laser, and then another good Pop Blossom is going to catch us, and there's not a lot we can do here. I did not really want us to fight that, but team kind of got caught. We're just in a part of the map where we really shouldn't have been. Another Tangle Barbs is going to catch Kate. That's a 5-0 ace, and it just, I mean, our team was behind. Really not much reason to be posturing around their team's side of the map like that. Kind of need to play more defensively, hope to catch them in a mistake, but they were able to initiate. Oh no, it was a 5-for-1, I'm sorry, not a clean ace, 5-for-1, but killing Camille is definitely not enough to make up for this, as their team's going to look to claim Baron, and that's going to put them in a very, very, very strong position once they have a chance to claim that. We really have no one here who can contest for it, and they're going to get this right there, so that's going to put them that much further ahead, and it is now about a 7,000 gold lead in favor of the blue team. So our Neeko player is going to go ahead and pick up a Lichbane and then gets a Blasting Wand. and goes up to 282 ability power. Again, I'm not sure that I really like the Lich Bane that much. Ability power, movement speed, cooldown reduction, mana, Spellblade ability. Just don't feel like there's that much of a. Don't feel like Neeko's really that much of an auto attacker, honestly. So we were trying to rush the Infernal Drake while they were doing Baron. We kind of need to get this to have any realistic chance of winning this match, even though it's super dangerous. So we're going to try to focus this. And are we going to get it? We do, in fact, claim it. Not by the jungler, because Silas was over here and died invading their blue buff at a time when Infernal Drake was up. So nice strategic shot calling to go and invade enemy team's blue while the Infernal is up, and we really need to contest it. But we do get it. Sion manages to grab it. It was very close. Lux Laser almost stole it, but we aren't able to grab it. And right here, the enemy team is looking to push while they still have Baron. And it's going to be awfully difficult to hold these outer towers. By the way, while I was playing, I was like, oh, Kate's about to die. Like, I saw Kate down here. I was like, oh, here's our vision in the game. I was like, oh, Kate's going to die. And verily enough, sure it was, Camille comes out of the fog and kills Kate. I was like, yeah, that is not a safe place for Kate to farm. She is going to die. Just seemed really obvious that was going to happen. So now they have Baron. They're ahead 5v4. There's not a lot that you can really do in this situation. There's a Binding that's going to hit, and then followed up with the Tangle Thorn's Root, and that's going to kill Silas. And, I mean, they're just so far ahead. There's not much we can do. Sion, in particular, going to fight outside of our base. I mean, I appreciate the enthusiasm, and it is, in fact, going to get a kill on Neeko. But we're going to lose champions in return. I have to back out. I'm on 10% health. Just going to die if I stick around, so that's not going to be enough to hold this. By the way, Camille not even here. Camille killing bot tower the whole time that's going on. So we do manage to sell out in order to get the kill onto the Neeko player, but it's not enough. And oh, Kate is lucky that Binding did not hit. So we're going to lose the tower there. We lose the inhib in bot lane. And at this point, the enemy team really just needs to group and get everybody back on the same get everybody together and just look to push together. League of Legends is very difficult to come back from in this current stage of the game. Once you fall 10,000 gold behind, if the enemy team gets a Baron, there's very little that you can do. It is hard to make comebacks nowadays unless the team that's ahead deliberately throws the game. It's just hard to come back. The bounties give you a chance, like you can use the bounties, but that's about it. Also, Silas, why is Silas this far out away from our base? That is a very, very risky place to be. Now, we do see Kayn running around in our jungle, and we're like, alright, well, we did catch him on a ward. No idea what Kayn is doing here, why he's put himself into this position. So we're going to look to chase after him. He can't really go too far. Silas is going to grab him with his chains, and then I walk in and auto-attack him and get the kill. So 800 gold shutdown. Not the person we want that shutdown going on. Definitely not. And Silas has not learned his lesson, is still running out here, looking to engage a long way away from our base. I don't think this was a good idea. We're going to see there's another Pop Blossom. It's not really going to hit much of anyone. So we are going to lose our Karma player. I am trying to get on Neeko, and I managed to get the kill there. But, you know, damage has already been done. We don't have any damage dealers. It's just me and Sion up right now. So we really can't win this fight. I mean, we can try to go after Jhin. So, like, I'm going to try to lock up Jhin here, but we don't have any damage. So it's really hard for us to win this fight. Well, actually, no, I hit Lux instead, which was not the right target to go after. I mean, Lux has decent AP, but Jhin was the one we needed to go after. Meanwhile, by the way, Camille not there the entire time. Camille just backdooring, killing stuff. And we also have super minions from the downed inhibitor killing our base. So at this point, yeah, little that we can do. And in fact, my team just surrenders 4-1. I did not vote for the surrender, but everybody else said we had no chance. And I'll be honest, we probably didn't have that much of a chance in that one. So overall, yeah, a little bit disappointing on that game. I was pretty happy with how I played on Leona, but just not enough. And, you know, kudos to the Neeko player in particular for really making some good plays. We sold out to kill Neeko a couple times, but every time we did, they got much more than we really got back in return. And it wasn't just Neeko. I mean, you can see the gold, 11,000 gold from 4 different people on their team. So they did quite well. I almost had the most gold on my team, so now that's partly a function of getting shutdowns, but like I said, I was reasonably happy with my Leona play in this game, but we just fell behind. Kate got caught a lot of times. Karma lost pretty decisively mid, and we also lost decisively top, and well, we lost jungle too. So if you lose in 4 of the 5 roles, you're probably not going to win the game. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I wanted a chance to put some Neeko footage up. Hadn't got a chance to do that. She's a fun champion. I like seeing her in games, and I'm hoping to have a chance to feature her more. Until next time, hope you guys are having a great week. See you soon. Take care.